Hi, and welcome to Inspired Cooking. My name's Laurie Lufkin, and today we have Myron Lapine of Gloucester with us, who is a blue ribbon prize-winning pickle maker. Thank you for being on the show today. This is exciting.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I know nothing about making pickles, so he's going to take us through the entire process of making bread and butter pickles. But first, how did you ever decide that this is what you wanted to do?
I went to a friend's house, invited us over for dinner one night, and we ended up having hamburgers and homemade pickles. And the pickles were so good, we had to start trying to make them. It's gone from a hobby to almost a part-time job.
Wow. Well, that's exciting because not a lot of people do this.
No,
and
definitely.
People do love it. When you hand them a can of something or a jar of something or a box of something that you made, it comes right from the heart.
Right from the heart. Anything homemade, definitely.
That's right. People love it because people run to the store and buy stuff all the time, but not everybody takes the time to make homemade stuff anymore.
Right,
So it's important.
Much like you, bacon or canning or anything like that.
Stuff. So, what is the first step for the bread and butter pickles?
These are the cucumbers we'll be cooking into bread and butter or sweet pickles today. They've been soaking for about 3 hours in ice and kosher salt. The kosher salt I put on top of the ice, I think it gives them better crispness.
All right, so let's add all this stuff in here. Do you want to do you want to do this part first? All right. So we've got the 4 cups of vinegar. It's just white distilled vinegar you buy at any store. Okay.
Any local market's fine.
Okay.
Your preference.
Turmeric.
Turmeric, yep.
All right.
Mustard seed. Sugar and the celery salt.
Now, is the celery salt something everybody uses, or is it one of your little secrets?
Most recipes, bread and butter, will call for a little celery.
Okay. Need a spoon?
Not till we start.
Oh, all right.
Actually, we'll move this to the stove.
Okay, get that fired up.
Put it on high.
I can do not to eat these. Put that on high. All right. So here, let's get this out of the way so we have a full view of this process.
Here we're going to dump the fresh water out of the cucumbers, which have been soaking in kosher salt. What I like is, that's why I put the salt on top. Freezes almost like a cube.
Yeah, see, you're a thinker. There we go. We have lots of cubes and a small colander.
My recipe calls for 4 pounds. I used about 5, which is no problem, really.
All right. Let's get that out of the way. And you're just rinsing them with regular cold tap water.
Yep. Make sure you get them all. You don't want no stragglers.
So you put the salt in, then you take the salt off, and
Pretty
the salt
much
is what makes them crispy.
Yep.
All right. So we just rinse and rinse.
Just keep rinsing them.
Okay.
They'll stay a little salty, but the more you rinse them, the less salty they'll stay for you.
Okay. All right. Well, while you're rinsing and we're waiting for the concoction with the vinegar and the sugar to boil, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll show you what's happening next.
All right, now we got the vinegar boiling. On a pretty hot boil, we're going to add the cucumbers to the boiling vinegar. And as the cucumbers start to sit in the vinegar, we're going to put the canning jars into the boiling hot water, which I have over here. You have to put your canning jar and your lid in the water to sterilize them. That way you don't make anybody sick or yourself. I usually put 3 or 4 jugs in a pan at a time to get them nice and warm. And we're just going to stir the cucumbers. Make sure they don't burn. And I got it on high. Here we are, the pickles are about halfway done. I scoop a few out. You get a little look at them. See the real light green ones? They're going to take a pickle color, almost like you bought at the market. And once they're done cooking, they're all going to look like that. Here we are, we got the pickles all cooked. And we're going to take the hot canning jars out of the pan, which have been sterilized in the boiling water.
Now, where do you get an implement like this and all these?
An implement like this and this, which is a cover lifter, actually come in a canning kit with your canning pot, which me and Laurie discovered mine leaks after 8 years of service.
So we improvised.
So we're improvising. But here's a wide mouth funnel, which sits right in your canning jar.
Okay, and you want to be sure not to touch anything inside the jar, right?
Nothing inside the jar.
Okay.
Now you're going to take the hot pickles and put them into a hot jar. As you can see, they've gone pickled green.
They're beautiful.
See the mustard seed, you can smell the flavor.
Yep.
If we had smell-o-vision, hey, you guys be going crazy. As you can see.
And you want to bring the liquid to the top?
Bring the liquid to the top. You want to leave about a 1/4 of an inch of head space.
Okay.
Which is probably right about there.
How pretty is that? Look at that.
Keep adding a little liquid.
These are made for TV pickles right here.
Smush them down a little so you get plenty in a quart.
All right.
Keep going.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Just about, pretty much want to cover the pickle itself. Just right about
Lift
there.
that off.
Lift that off. What we're going to do is we're going to take a magnet. We're going to lift the lid and the cover. It's a two-piece cover system.
Okay.
All you're going to do, put the rubber on first. A little bit hot. Might want to use an oven mitt. Screw them on tight.
And there we have jar number 1.
Jar number 1.
So with the, what, you had 5 pounds of pickles?
5 pounds of pickles. You can figure about a pound, give or take.
And this is a 1 pint jar.
That's a 1 pint jar. If you run into a half a jar, just cover it. Don't can it. Put it in your fridge. It's good for up to 2 months.
So we're in the final leg of our event here, the final step. This water is boiling and will be boiling again once we put it back on the stove. So what do we do? One
thing you could do, and I didn't do today, is you can add onions to your bread and butter pickles. Same thing, you soak them with the pickles. I kind of left them out today. The water's been boiling. Usually I have my canning rack. I left it in Gloucester today, so we're cheating. We're using the cover of the lid, which is fine. We'll keep it off the bottom of the pot.
Why is it important to keep it off the bottom of the pot so it doesn't cook?
So the bottom won't cook or burn.
Right, that makes sense.
Keep the jar from cracking. What you're going to do is take a full jar. You're going to submerge it in your boiling water. You got to make sure that it covers the top by about 1/4 inch or so. Which
exactly what it does. Okay,
now
let me ask you quick. The difference between doing this step and not doing this step is...
This still lasts up to, I've eaten pickles canned 3 years old, whereas if you didn't can them, they're good for 2 months only. So if you're going to make a bunch of them, you're better off going through the whole process.
All right, well, that's good to know. It's a handy tip.
Couple of years.
So all we're going to do now is put them back on the stove for about 20 minutes?
20 minutes, yep.
And that's the end of it.
That's it.
That's how you make bread and butter pickles.